Good morning, and welcome to another segment of My Tea for the Week. Oh, it's your girl, Valerie Locust, and today's subject is me, myself, oh, girl, and I. So go ahead and grab that tea and meet me at the table because you know I got something to say. What a lonely place to be in this world when we are thoroughly consumed with me, myself, and I. So much so until we don't need or feel we have a need to be in any type of fellowships or relationships or just day to day communication with another human being. No, ladies, listen, we were never meant to be on our own little island where we have no interaction with another person. Where there's no laughter, no touch, just no empathy for another person, which are all very important things to help us to thrive. Yeah. See, we need to be in other people's lives, and other people need to actually be a part of our lives. You know, I've often wondered when I would see people who've been blessed to live 80 and above, and you never see anybody calling them, you never see anybody going over to check on them. That really used to break my heart. And I used to ask myself, why in the world was that? Could it have been that when they were younger, in their prime, that they failed to build and establish relationships with other people? Did they get lost in their work ethics and maybe were working two, three jobs, or materialistic and just buying and replacing people with things? Or did something traumatic happen to them that caused them to emotionally just disconnect from everything around them? And then they devised in their own mind their own little escape boat where they got in there and they paddled and paddled and paddled and paddled themselves away from everything and everybody until they found their own little island where they found nothing but solace and peace. See, if we had the time to just sit down and get in conversations with some of them, I guarantee you that their reasons would be different. As a matter of fact, they'd be as wide as the ocean. But no matter how they got there or when they got there, they're not realizing that because they are in this position or putting themselves in this position, it is robbing them from living their best lives. That's right. See, when we allow people to get into our lives up close and personal, that interaction, it causes us to stay engaged. It causes us to stay youthful and active. It gives us a sense of purpose, a sense of well-being. That's exactly right. See, we need these things. These are very necessary things. Why? Because it causes us to become well-rounded, well-balanced. In other words, it helps us to continue to thrive. It's just like when a baby is born. You take, for instance, if that mother is always holding that baby, always cuddling that baby and talking to that baby, and just as she's feeding him, making little ooh ooh and goo goo sounds to that baby, that interaction will help that baby learn to develop and to grow. That's right. That baby will become well rounded and will develop good social skills because of the interaction with another human being. But now you take that same baby, if he's not being held, if he's not being cuddled, he's not being talked to, mama's putting the bottle on a blanket or something and propping it up in his mouth, he's not having that interaction with another human being. There will always be a deficit or a disconnect where the emotions should be involved and things like that. Why? Because there is no human interaction. So the response that a baby will give off when a mom or dad or anybody comes into a room, comes into his presence, and he sees him, he's kicking, he's waving his little arms, he's doing whatever he can to get your attention. But then on the flip side, the baby who is not used to that, you can come in there, you can bend over in his crib and talk to him. He'll just lay there almost listless. Why? Because he has not been introduced to human interaction. Now, don't get me wrong. There is an exception to every rule. By that I mean there are some people who genuinely really enjoy being by themselves. But now they still know how to communicate with people, and they also still know how to have empathy for people. So if that's your preference, honey, don't stop being who you are. You keep moving right ahead. But then there are some of us who have, for one reason or another, distanced ourselves. We got in our little boat with our little oar, and we have just paddled ourselves with just me, myself, and I until we found our own little island. But girl, you know what? It's getting kind of lonely out there. hmm But the problem is we've been there for so long, we forgot how to get back to shore. Oh, yeah. So bonding or engaging or interacting with other people, it's a very necessary and powerful tool, and one that we all need to have if we plan to live a productive, well-rounded life and exhibit great social skills. True story. My father has always been the same as far back as I can remember. He never meets a stranger, always engaging, laughs a lot, real comfortable person to be around, very hospitable. And he still to this day is the exact same. So when we took the stage play to Mississippi back in 2018, we get there, and who comes up? My daddy on his cane with his wife. He started hugging people. He started talking to people, engaging with people. Tried to get all 31 of us to come to his house. Not only that, the next morning when we got ready to leave, who shows up? My daddy and his wife. And again, he's laughing, he's talking, he's engaging. And because of that warm nature, because of him allowing people to come into his world, into his circle, that interaction, that gentle touch, do you not know that it's been almost 2 years now. It'll be 2 years in November. People are still asking about him and how he's doing. I tell you, interacting with people, establishing that bond, it's a great thing, y'all. So let's talk about some of the negative aspects of feeling like we don't want to be in nobody else's world and we really don't want nobody else in ours. Number one, if we continue to live, listen, we all going to get old. And if we continue on that train, eventually we're going to end up lonely and alone. That's right. And it might be okay for a while, but there's only so much TV we can watch, y'all. And at some point, we want to hear the voice of another human being. That's the truth. Nothing takes the place of that. Ecclesiastes 4:10 says, "For if one man falls, his companion will be there to help him up. But pity on the one who falls and has no one to help him up." So we don't want to end up like that. No. We don't want to live our lives in such a way that when we really get to a place where we really, really need some help and there's nobody there to help us. Number two, once we've gotten home and got our bearings back, honey, now it's time to sit back and go back into that memory bank and remember the ones who added so much to your life, whether it was through a gentle touch or engaging in a good old conversation that had y'all laughing to the crack of dawn. Honey, do that. And then once you can figure that out, girl, get in touch with them. That's right. Listen, if you're scared to call, girl, look, we got so much social media. You can text message them. You can messenger them. Honey, whatever you got to do. But get in touch with that person And you know what? Once you get in touch with them, y'all can make a date, girl. You can go out to lunch. You can do a girl's day, a spa day, whatever your heart desire. And I guarantee you, the one that you actually are able to reconnect with, the ones that you've been longing to get back that fellowship and that friendship with, I guarantee you, honey, they just been waiting on you to resurface and return. And number 3, take you some deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Every time you feel that panic or that anxiety that's going to try to make you run away again, honey. This time, get yourself and look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, we ain't going nowhere. That's right. We are home, and we are home to stay. And if you continue to do that, I guarantee that you will eventually, slowly but surely, you will get to that place to where you will have the enjoyment of allowing people to come into your lives. And it's a good feeling. And not only you allowing them to come into your life, but then they will be allowing you to do the same. And the gratitude, I tell you, will be mutual. Well, it's been a pleasure as always to hang out with you for a few minutes. And I pray that on this week, that your communication, that your gentle touching, that your laughing, your bonding will only get stronger with those that you love and those that are a part of your life. And I know that if you continue to do so, you will only continue to get better, thrive, and live a well-balanced life. And ladies, before I leave today, if these videos are being a blessing to you in any way, if you would just simply leave me a comment and or subscribe to my channel, it would be so greatly appreciated. I'm your girl, Valerie Locust. Thanks so much for tuning in, and as always, cheers to the new and improved you.